welcome to another episode of Quarantine Connect 2020. The purpose of this show is to help people understand how to stay away from each other and still be connected. Today, I have invited a very good friend of mine. You've met her before. She's been with us in My Story for You, telling people her story of how she became a wonderful confidence coach and an author. But today, she's going to talk about how she's living these days. And we're going to get some great ideas from Nancy. So, how are you, Nancy?
I'm really, really good. I'm so glad to be connected and seeing faces in this time, in this crazy time.
Yeah. So, how do you
Yes.
spend most of your time these days?
So you know what? A lot of the times I think so many of us are focused on what we cannot do, the stuff that we're not able to do. And it could really, really lower your frequency, your vibration to even just create and even just to stay focused. So I've kind of gotten into the what can I do? And I know it's not like before, but it's working with what I have and just getting creative with that. So, a lot of the times right now I'm creating more content, more on my blogging that it had been years since I had written anything. Because, it falls on your priority list. It's not necessarily the thing that you're going to do. But I think now that the noise and the distraction of having to do so much, you just kind of bring it back and it's like, okay, what can I do today? And then the creative juices start flowing and then it's like, oh, I want to write about that. And because there's nothing else distracting you, it's easier to just kind of stay focused and like get done with the articles a lot faster than before.
So, you've been writing amazing articles. And what are the major topics?
So a lot of it has been more on like staying, like just recently on like, on not forgetting your why. For a lot of entrepreneurs that are going through a lot of the challenges that all of us are facing. One, we're not alone. So it's kind of nice at least to feel like, okay, I'm not the only one going through all of this. And number two is more of like, you know what, let me connect with my why again. Did it change? Is it the same? Does it need a little bit of, evolving? Is it shifting into a different direction? And I think now is the time, and I just did an article on that not too long ago. And it was just like, you know what, even for myself is reconnecting with that why again. And then starting now to develop content from that. Even 3 tips that I shared recently on another article post of during these times, we do need to stay, pausing and breathing. People forget that we are human beings, not doers. We're constantly doing, that we forget to just be. And so, maybe meditating for 15 minutes, you feel like this is not productive, but as a matter of fact, those 15 minutes of just stopping the noise can actually help you come up with ideas or content or like just to keep you in a space of peace and calmness.
Which is much needed. And we are never conscious of our needs. When we are in that do mode, we are continuing with too many things breathlessly. To be honest, as an entrepreneur, this is what has been my experience since last 8 years. We've been continuously grinding, moving, doing things, pushing people, giving ideas, sharing ideas, building up on those ideas, and we've never been stopping. But now is the time, like you said, that we have the time to stop, switch off and think differently and plan differently as well. Like you said, that perhaps some of us have a new why. And we really need to discover it.
New stuff is coming up. Like even for me, I'm not going to share the surprise just yet. But like it's this moment of like, okay, when I stay in that flow of, so what can I do in the mornings? That's the first thing I'm like, first I meditate and then I get into, okay, what can I do today? And even if it's just one thing, as long as I get that done, I'm okay. Cause I know we're all busy. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We're back into stuff that the cooking, the cleaning, the watching the kids, you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're the cook, you're the cleaner, you're the everything, right? Like all the titles are coming down on you. And it's like, you know what? Some days are good and some days are not. And just to be okay with that. You're not going to be maybe as productive on some days. And on other days, boom, you're going to knock out, some really amazing stuff. But it's just staying in the flow of, even if it's a little inch per day, and just staying in that flow of what can I do today? What can I do today? And just letting that be.
Yeah, true, true. Agree with you, yes. So it's important for us to slow down. That's what it means. Because slow is steady.
Yes.
And it's healthy.
Yes.
For now. Yeah.
For now, look, before, when we were able to go out and network and talk to people and do, it was our evenings. It was not eating right. It was, you know what, I don't have time for dinner. I have to go do this. And commuting, you know, I have to go here. I have to go there. Like all this time, if we really think about it, we're getting a lot of time back. So what are we doing? Even with our partners at home, where, you know, usually everybody's working and nobody's really spending that quality time, it's kind of reconnecting again. It's figuring out ways of reconnecting with your children, with your business, with yourself, with your partners, to actually think, okay, so maybe we need to revisit our vision plan for the next 2 years. Like maybe we need to change that. Do you even have that? Like, have you sat down with your husband or your, you know, whoever that you're in the house with, just to say, okay, so this is my goal. This is my vision. Like, what's yours? And maybe we merge that together. Or even just getting to know each other again. I think I mentioned to you, you know, like remembering stuff, like, you know, at least with my husband, you know, yeah, like the memories, like, you know, when we started, like even with my husband and I was just like, remember when we met the first time, and like, you know, just the conversation and then the laughing back and forth of obviously his version versus my version, and, you know, who did the first move and who didn't. I'm like, look,
but it's, you know, it's fun to remember all of that in different ways. Yeah. And reconnect.
Like, and that's the thing, it's reconnecting again with that, the essence, the stories, where we've been so programmed and like so robotic on like, go, 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 do. And it's like, when do we get the chance to just sit? Like even with like best friends of mine that I got the chance to face, I normally never FaceTime because they're busy. They're busy moms. And they have their careers, and then, you know, I'm always doing something else, and the time difference, and we have every excuse in the book.
Yeah.
And in these last few days,
this last month of February was so busy. I remember for many days I used to come home very late in the night, like after 10 o'clock, and they were all missing me. Now during this period, I'm more at home, and so much at home that I'm cooking regularly. Something that used to happen sometimes is happening,
or as in my
day.
case, rarely. I'm like, that was not in my, I was like, the kitchen is not my place. And now, even now, for me, like I'm getting creative with like recipes. Cause look, one, I'm gluten intolerant. So I can't just go to the store and get, you know, a nice croissant when you're craving it. So now I'm like, okay, how do I make it? Oh, there's this. Oh, there's chocolate banana muffin. You know, like all, that's what I'm saying. In every area, it's turned into creative. You know,
exactly. Yeah, like, and you're living every moment, and you're enjoying it. You're doing new things, isn't
all
it?
The time.
All the
and
time.
So, and I think so. That's like the stuff that you kind of bring up. And not just that, even connecting with people. How long has it been, you know, that you've connected with like a really good friend from back home, or just sending a message?
Yes.
You know, last week I was like, what can I do to help somebody else, like to uplift them during these times? And crazy enough, it was one of my really best friends, which it had been months since we had spoken. And you know what? I was like, I'm just going to FaceTime her. And I ended up waking her up because she was sleeping. But she was like, you have no idea, like how it really, like it surprised me, but it was like a gift to like see you and like talk to you. And like, she was crying and she's like, oh my gosh, like, why have we not done this before? And I was like, oh my gosh, look at how we are. Like, really, it takes this for us to like, and it was the memories again. And we're like, remember when we did this? And we're just cracking up. Laughter really helps you get yourself, you know, rise above all of this chaos. And it just helps you reconnect again with like some of the most beautiful friendships that we have, yet we haven't nurtured them because we're busy.
Because we're busy. We're not consciously thinking about them. We're not even consciously thinking about all those moments we've lived in the past. because we are busy.
Yes.
Especially
Yes.
the entrepreneurs, the people who are creative, who are doing too many things at a time, helping too many different clients and people at a time. They hardly get that breathing space to think about things that they've been enjoying in their life in the past. And
100%. 100%. And you know what? And that's the thing, like, obviously, you know, being in this self-esteem and keeping your, like, okay, what can I do? You always have a choice.
yeah,
You can go into, oh my gosh, no clients are coming in, no money. What am I going to do? Which you can. And I know that's the reality for a lot of people. But then to maintain, that's not going to solve anything.
yeah,
And that's the thing,
exactly.
is you being in that worry, in the energy of the problem, you have to get out of it to find the solution. So
Yes.
you can't find the solution when you're in that space of problem and spiraling downhill and all that. So it's, at what point can I break out of that and go into a space? And that's where I use my meditation. Like, I'm like, okay, I can just stop my brain for a second. I'm not going to worry. And I just bring in whatever. I'm like, even just breathing, like simply just breathing. And I'm like, okay. And then I go right into, okay, what can I do today?
Yeah.
And what can I do for somebody today? So last week, I would randomly choose people that I know for a fact, I have never told them, you know what, you did this, and it really inspired me. And I
Oh,
started sending last week a few people messages that had no clue. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, thank you, because during this time you did this, and it really inspired me during a very difficult time or a bad day. And I remember just last week, I sent the message and 2 people responded, and they were like, oh my gosh, like, you just made my day. Like, I had no idea.
see,
And that's where
you've been making people smile over lovely things.
yeah.
Thank you.
But you know,
I should do the
again,
same.
you're like, hey, maybe that's, but you know, that's the kind of stuff that you have to use to, like, maintain during these times of, look, if you were to receive a message like that during this time where you're, oh my gosh, what's going on, it would uplift you. So it's the same thing. Like, it doesn't cost any money,
Yeah.
and you really can make somebody's day by just giving in that sense and serving. And I think it
And these
reminds,
days everybody has some time. Like people cannot say I'm very busy and I don't have time for you, so don't text me. That doesn't apply anymore.
nope, sorry, you're like, that's not gonna be the excuse anymore. But you know what? And that's the great thing, is that now you do now, like, set that as your, I set myself 3 self-care things a day. I'm like, okay, every day, 3 self-care stuff that I'm going to do for myself. So whether that's in the morning, meditating, maybe sometimes I don't have the time, so then I'll go do a little 30-minute workout in the balcony, writing in my journal. Like, there's different stuff that I do throughout the day that I check mark at least every day.
Mm.
3 self-care things that I get to do for myself. That might mean just looking in the mirror and affirming to myself something positive, or sending a message to somebody, like, because then it makes me feel good that I made their day. So 3. And every day I'm like, wow, I'm actually hitting, like, I'm being very conscious about every day doing 3 things for myself as self-care.
Mm. You know, for me, it's very important to be connected to people. So, what I'm doing every day is the same, recording one episode with one person or at least a couple of people. So, that gives me the satisfaction, okay, I did something for myself today and I'm feeling wonderful about it. And tomorrow I'm
Yes.
going to share it.
But you know, that's a great thing, is that for you, it's, for example, that connection with people that you have to have. So doing that for you is awesome. For other people, it may be something totally different. If they're introverts, you know, whether it's reading a book that 10 pages a day, or, you know, whatever that is, everybody has their own unique way of self-care, and choosing 3 or even 1. For those people that have kids, I totally understand. Like, they're like, I can't even think, like, you know, I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, and like, there's so much going on. Totally makes sense. But now you at least have 1 thing that you must do for yourself to continue to, you know, give you that, to fill up your tank, to fill up your self-love tank. Because you can't be running on empty, especially when, you know, in situations like this, because you will burn out, and you will start feeling, you know, a lot of people are going through a lot of sadness, frustration,
Mm.
disappointment, and
Yeah.
it's getting yourself out of it. Feel it, because you have to, it's human. But then, what do I do to get out of it?
Mm. True. So they need to work on it. I think doing simple things can help. Doing simple little things more consciously can bring changes. I have felt those kinds of changes in my life. Like I tried many recipes after years during this past 1 week, and I was surprised.
To dust it off. You had to dust it off, like, yeah, oh yeah, seriously. That's right.
Then I was surprised that what was keeping me away from it, and then I realized it was work. I was too busy taking care of too many things. I wasn't at home most of the times, so I never had the time. But now I have, so I'm making use of it.
Yes.
This is how perhaps this lockdown kind of a stage where everybody has to stop is for this purpose, to bring us back to the beautiful things that we were missing out.
Yes, we forget. I think we do forget I think now, once this is all done and over with, you do start thinking about going for a walk is going to be like a gratitude, like, oh, I got to go for a walk. Because, for those of us that are in our homes and we don't have a garden and we don't have all this stuff, like you do learn, but also the connection with people and the serving, like for me, where business is business, I totally understand it. But this has really reminded me, why did I even start this? And it was to serve. And it was like, oh my gosh, that's right. Like I've disconnected from serving and have just focused on business and target and goals. And it's like, wait. That's why I've disconnected from like my mission. And it was because of serving. And that's why the content now that I'm starting to create is more about, I'm just going to give value. Like I want to give value because it's coming from the heart. And I'm not like, okay, I got to hit this. I got to hit that. Like, no. Which brings me back to the humanness of, that's why we're all here.
Yeah, true. So where can we read your content? I know there will be some posts.
Yeah, it's on the blog on my website, on the www.thecenterofconfidence.com. So I'm just going to be posting it up there. On the LinkedIn, I'm going to be sharing it on LinkedIn.
What's your LinkedIn, Nancy? You have to say your
LinkedIn is Dr. Nancy Haines. So you'll be able to find me there. And, at some point I'll jump on and like share the link just so that everybody has it. But this is a great opportunity to start sharing all those tips, more videos. Now I have time to record them. So
definitely
I have all the time in the world to record now. So there's no excuse. And I think now is like, you know what? We have to make the best of the situation, the best that we can. Everybody has a different situation, which totally makes sense. But it's really connecting with that message again.
Yes. And I'm sure you're posting regularly on Instagram. So what is your Instagram, Nancy?
The Instagram it's _confidence_catalyst.
Okay, perfect. Why you chose catalyst?
Yes. Because a catalyst is that thing that helps you launch forward, like a quantum leap from where you are to where you want to be. So for me, the coaching clients that I have, when they start, I don't do the work, they do the work, but I serve as a catalyst to help them move through all of the noise of in here and helping with their self-esteem and their self-criticism, and they get to go do stuff that they've never done before in a much faster time frame than they would if they would have done it on their own.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm
excited.
I have the feeling it's amazing. So thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed. I've taken too much of your time.
No. It's okay. This is what we're here for. We're here to connect. We're here to support. And this serves me as much as it serves you, just connecting with more people. We're extroverts. So having that face-to-face contact, we miss it, but that's why we have the technology.
Yes. As soon as this is over, we are going to party hard.
Yes. Anybody who wants to join us, we are going to be definitely celebrating this with a few
Exactly. So stay tuned with us. We are going to have some fun. All right. Yes. Thank you so much, my dear friend, and have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.